use the grid method to get accurate proportions? Shoot, do you even trace to get accurate proportions? And if you are, what are you doing? You're gonna know by the end of this video how to get accurate proportions with freehanding. Yes, I said freehanding. I know you were never taught how to really freehand in art school or in art class. I get it. I understand how it goes because I was there. No one taught me, but now I'm at the point where I helped over 1,000 artists get better at freehanding, and I'm here to teach you. I spent over a decade trying to perfect my freehanding, especially for portraits. I finally figured out what to do to make my portraits look more accurate without using the grid method, without tracing, without even using the Loomis method. Oh my God, I hate the Loomis method. But each his own, right? I just hate it. There are only 3 steps you need. 3, yes, only 3 steps you need to follow to get started with freehanding accurate proportions. It can be hectic. You're looking at a portrait, you're looking at a reference image, and you can't wrap your head around how difficult and how detailed your reference image is and how you're supposed to get that to look like this on paper, right? It's annoying. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I am stuttering because that's how annoying it is. I've been drawing my whole life, really. I have, but I always want the freedom of freehanding. I don't want to be restricted to just using a grid method or using one type of method. I want to take my sketchbook and I just want to see what I drew then and there without second guessing anything. Tell me why my neighbors are still popping fireworks. They pop fireworks before the 4th of July, 3 days before, and now it's the next day after. I get it, if you have some left over, pop it, but why they gotta do it while I'm recording? First step, number 1 that you must know, people skip over it. I don't know why you skip over this. People skip over it. I don't know why you skip over this step. You have to know what you're drawing. Study what you're drawing. We're talking about portraits in this video, all right? You need to know anatomy. You need to know the skull structure. You need to know the muscle groups. You need to know what the face is made up of, the different planes, how everything works on our face, right? Why do we have eyebrows? I bet you can't tell me why we have eyebrows. 1, protect us from this. 2, no, only 1. There's only one reason I believe we have eyebrows. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. The only reason why we have eyebrows is to protect our eyes from getting any water in it. Like, say if we sweat, right? The eyebrow hair catches our sweat. It's kind of like a windshield. It protects our eyes from getting wet or getting anything in our eyes. That's just one example of the function of the human anatomy and why you should know it, because it makes sense. And if you understand that, you know, if you look to the side or you look at someone from a profile, the eyebrows tend to come out further than the eye because it's protecting the eyeball, it's protecting the eye. Same with the skull structure. Everything around here, around the eye socket, is protecting it, and your eyeball sits inside of it. So you just have to understand small things like that in order to understand every other portrait out there. It's so important. You wouldn't study for an exam, an important exam at all, right? You will study for it because you know you need to pass. Same with the drawing portraits and studying anatomy. If you're gonna draw it, you need to know what you're drawing. Yes, you can see a photo and copy it directly, but trust me, it adds character if you know what's underneath. The most beautiful, extravagant, realistic paintings or drawings like Da Vinci, Michelangelo, Charles White, Kadir Nelson, if you look at their artwork and their subjects, you can see the skull structure coming underneath the portrait. You can see the bone structure underneath the portrait. Sometimes it's exaggerated and other times it's subtle. God damn, why are they so loud out there, bro? Oh my God, bro, I'm just trying to record. Step number 2, angles. You weren't expecting that, huh? When I draw my portraits or when I freehand portraits, I make sure to get the correct angle, right? So what does that mean? The first thing I would do to start my portrait is to draw a line right down the middle of the face. Whatever the person is looking, to the left, to the right, up, down, face forward, I draw a line in the middle, whatever direction their face is going. And then I draw a horizontal line where the eyes are placed. Sometimes that horizontal line can be straight, it can be curved, depending on if they're looking up or they're looking down. There's so many different ways you can do it. There's no one way to draw the accurate angle. You just have to make sure the angle is at a similar degree as the portrait itself. I find this to be helpful because sometimes when we just go in and start drawing the face, we get lost on the perspective and where the face is angled at, where the face is positioned at. Once I started putting these guidelines, it helped me keep track of how the facial features are supposed to sit on top of the face. Do not skip angles. Please do not skip angles. It's super important, and it should be the first step you should be following. Number 3, and I know I said the last one was super important, but this is the most important step of them all. You're not just gonna use it with portraits, you're gonna use it with every other drawing you create. Any painting you create, any artwork you create, this is the most important step. Finding those shapes are so important because the whole world, you looking at me on your screen, you looking around your room, you looking in the mirror, no matter where you look, every single thing on this planet is made up of shapes. What does that even mean, bro? Like, what are you talking about? Everything are made up of shapes. What I mean is that literally everything are shapes. Everything might not be a perfect circle. It might not be a perfect square, but that doesn't mean it's not a shape. Everything you see, it could be it could be a remote control, it can be your video game console, it could be food, it could be mashed potatoes. It all is a shape at the end of the day. If you don't believe me, take a photo of anything you want that you don't think is a shape. Apply the black and white filter on that photo and then bump up the contrast all the way up. Contrast 100. Look at those shapes. There's shapes everywhere in that photo. But when you draw a portrait, you want to find those shapes first. The overall big, large shapes. And if you have a problem with finding these shapes, step back, look at your reference image, squint your eyes, and you will see the larger shapes within the portrait. Once you get those shapes in, then you're gonna work on every other shape around that or near it. Remember, not to just go straight into the portrait by drawing just the details. You want to draw all the little skin pores and the freckles and all the little scars. No, forget that. What you need to focus on are the bigger values, the darker values, the lighter values. What shapes are those values? And put those in your drawing. Here's a secret my professor told me one day when I was struggling drawing my portrait. He said, look, yo man, what you need to do is you need to start in the middle of the portrait and then work your way out. Instead of working on the outline, which you always do, work inside, work your way out. That way you won't get your proportions messed up. And ever since then, I always started in the middle. It really does work and it really does help. You start on the nose, say the middle of the face, and then you draw in the main shapes, the main values, what the lighting looks like on the nose. And then you go to the next step, which is around that nose. And then what's this, that, right? But if you start on the outline, your outline might not be accurate at first, but you're gonna base all your measurements on that initial outline. And that's a big no-no. Don't do that. What you need to do is start on the inside and work your way out. Freehanding takes practice. You're not gonna get it overnight, but with these 3 steps, you will. I was in your shoes. I don't care if you're drawing stick figures. I was there one day. I experienced everything you guys experienced, but the difference between me and you is that I actually pushed forward and I kept going, learned from my failures. So you should do the same thing if you want to get just as good as me or you want to get better. And I believe you can be better than me. Imagine working on a project that you know is going to help thousands of people and you spend months creating it. You spend hours editing because you know that once people actually consume this content, it's going to change their life. Well, that was me. I did that, right? I created that content for a long time. It was all on my hard drive. And tell me why my hard drive, literally, my hard drive stopped working. I plugged it in, kept plugging it in. It would not show up on my computer. I tried everything. I just don't know what to do. And I lost my whole drawing course that was gonna help you guys. It took me hours to film, hours to edit, and it was beautiful, but I can't get it back right now. And at first, I told myself I'm gonna give up, but you know what? I decided I'm gonna re-record it. I'm gonna make this course better if I can, because that was a good course, I'm not gonna lie, it was really nice. But I'm gonna do my best, I'm gonna make it better, make it more interesting, and make it shorter, because I'm not gonna lie, it was like 2 hours long, and most of you guys don't have 2 hours to waste. You just wanna get to the point. In the meantime, while I recreate that course, I want you to consume my other content because I know it will help you become better artists and better drawers. It's for both mediums. So if you're stuck at a place and you just don't see progress within your art, I have a Patreon that you can join for free and you can check out some of the videos. Obviously, you found my YouTube because you're watching me. My TikTok, I always share tutorials, same on my Instagram. But if you really want the holy grail of ballpoint pen drawing, and this is specifically for ballpoint pen, although you can use the same techniques with pencil, my ebook called The Secrets of Drawing with a Ballpoint Pen, now that one is a true gem. I would say that is really for beginners, right? So if you feel like you're a beginner drawing with a pen and you just want to get better, then read that book. But if you feel like you're more advanced, wait on the course. I love creating content. I love sharing more so about myself and, you know, who I am, my personality. And it took me a while to figure out how to work this camera. So now I know how to work this camera. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. So much more content coming soon. And not only did I want to teach you guys, you know, how to draw, how to get better, I want to tell you that you're special. If I can do it, you can do it. Be the best version that you can be. Till next time.